Turning now to America's crime surge, the FBI's Uniform Crime Reports says the murder rate of Black Americans jumped by 32% back in 2020. But that's not the only shocking stat we're following. Let's move now to present day. Gun Violence Archive reports at least 12 cops were shot and killed and 25 injured in the line of duty since April 1st. Joining us now to discuss, former police officer, host of the Failure to Stop podcast, Mike Edwards. Also with us, former Phoenix Police Chief Daniel Garcia. Thank you both for coming on today. We appreciate you taking the time. It's always, of course, unfortunate conversations we're having when we're talking about an increase in crime. And Mike, I'll start with you. Why do you think we're seeing it now?
I think we're seeing it now in a culmination of a couple of reasons. One is an ideological battle that's happening, and those that subscribe to what I would call a far left or a Marxist ideology embodied by Black Lives Matter certainly drives culture in our urban centers in an anti-police sentiment, and mix that then with that poisoning the justice system in terms of bail reform or so-called bail reform that's having an impact on those that would have nefarious, and malevolent intent against police officers, against a society of law and order is one aspect. And another is we've been suffering under 2 years of economic and, health pressures. You guys were just talking about the mask mandates. You've cooped people up for all this time, and those that have no other recourse because small businesses have been shut down, et cetera, it's inevitable that crime will elevate.
Yeah, we've seen criminal activity take place in major cities, but Chief, we've also seen it against police officers who are living and working in those cities as well. They're facing now violence from criminals against themselves.
Well, absolutely.
Yeah, tell me about what you've seen.
Yeah, there's two factions out there. There is the anti-police who don't want to be police, and then there's the criminal element that doesn't want to be police. And when you have people being put in positions like district attorneys that don't want to prosecute and hold people to these consequences of their actions, absolutely you're going to have attacks on police. It's going to occur much more nowadays.
Yeah,
You're seeing it across America.
Sure, and I mean, we're even looking at recent video of a subway attack in New York City that happened last Tuesday, just about the time we were on air, and we, of course, were following the very latest details of that. A tragedy where New Yorkers were shot on their morning commute here. I want to go back in time, take a look at how funding for police departments was covered in the media. This was back in 2020. Take a listen.
Commit to the hard, long-term work of reimagining policing.
To reform and reinvent their public safety department.
Reimagine how we are accomplishing public safety.
Reimagine public safety.
Reimagine policing in this country.
To reimagine what public safety looks like.
Reimagine what public safety looks like.
Reimagine what public safety looks like.
Us reimagining policing in our communities.
You can support public safety and reimagine it at the same time.
Okay, so perhaps there's some vagueness surrounding what exactly they meant by reimagine. Again, those were a compilation of political leaders, lawmakers, former lawmakers as well, saying that. But then it almost went one step further, right? That calls to defund the police. And since it was all on video, we've got it for you. Let's watch.
Suck it up. Defunding the police has to happen. We need to defund the police.
Mayor Eric Garcetti saying, take some of the money from policing, about $150 million.
I applaud Eric Garcetti for doing what he's done.
Not only do we need to disinvest in police, but we need to completely dismantle the Minneapolis Police Department.
So yes, defund your butts. Defund you.
Yes, I support the reallocation of resources from NYPD.
We will be moving funding from the NYPD.
You know, Mike, it was said, and that stood out to a lot of people who were watching it as it happened live. Now you can't deny that those calls were made. Your thoughts?
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You're getting what you asked for. This is what you wanted. You wanted funds taken away. And when you do, you get people who are either ill-equipped to run cameras in the metro system in New York. And so all the camera systems are down. There's no staffing there to protect it. And this is exactly what they wanted. I think that we need to make no mistake that this is not just a difference of opinion. There are those clips that you played there about defunding, reallocating, reimagining, abolishing, dismantling. All of that is an agenda. It's not just a difference of opinion. This isn't a gentleman's disagreement. There are people who wish to alter the entire concept of law and order in our society in a way that is contrary to liberty, in a way that is contrary to sound ideology that can actually lead to a free society. There's just no mistake about it.
All right, limited on time here, but let me just go to Chief Garcia for your final thoughts on this.
Well, what that equates to is self-policing or no policing at all. That's what they're asking by defund the police. That was a huge mistake. Today, we're doing what's called proactive policing, and proactive policing is putting officers in the hot spots where they need to be, regardless of what the community makeup looks like. The fact is that officers need to be where they're needed all across America and fighting crime the right way.
Yeah, important conversations to have. We appreciate you both coming on. Mike Edwards, Daniel Garcia, thank you so much, guys. Take care.